had this channel for almost 10 years, and I've never been live, and I've been able to go live for years. And so I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it to do it. Um, while I'm commuting, I think I'm just gonna talk because since I never go live, I'm probably not gonna have any people come on, which is fine. But I just want to run it up. So I am Coach Vee MP, and life has been like crazy for so many years. So I kind of went, not in hiding per se, but I kind of went into a space where I just had to lay down for a minute and get my life back together. You know, I had to rebuild, had to start over. My 5-year marriage came to a horrible, horrible end. It was not peaceable at all. And so I just had to spend time getting back to me, right? I just had to spend time reassessing what I wanted, what was important to me in life, what direction I wanted my life to go in. And I had to do this all while buying new dishes, new furniture, new underwear. Like when I tell you, oh, it's a music store right there. Like when I tell you I really had to start over from scratch in every way possible, I'd had to start over from scratch in every way possible. It was like a master reset. God, the universe, spirit figured I needed a master reset. And so that's what I did. I had to have a master reset on life. And I was not ready financially. I was ready emotionally and spiritually. I had checked out of the relationship years before it actually ended. I just let my ego get in the way. I let my ego tell me that, oh, you're not gonna lose, and this your first marriage, and you gonna show him, and just, it was ego. It was literally nothing but my ego talking, and my ego got me hurt, like real bad. No, Carisha. Um, and so, you know, after that type of heartbreak, I just sat down for a minute. I had no choice. I had a choice. I take that back. Because as women, well, men too, we be having a choice. We be having a choice to either sit down and heal, or we be having a choice to be on our Tatiana-ish. And the way to me and my cookie set up, I could not be on no Tatiana. Like, that was just not me. I do believe in soul ties. I believe in giggity. I believe in soul ties. I believe there's so many more things that I'm afraid of. You know, and it's not even on like a, you know, STD type of thing. I'm afraid of so many spiritual connections and soul ties. So I couldn't be on my Tatiana. No matter how bad I was hurt, no matter how many. And what's really weird is that there were people lurking in the bushes that I didn't even know was lurking in the bushes. Like, y'all so strange online. There were so many people lurking in the bushes that I didn't even know they was lurking in the bushes until I announced that my marriage was over. Like, so many people out here are so disloyal. Like, y'all some of y'all like some just dirty, just disloyal type of person. And so I wasn't on my Tatiana. You feel me? Like, I think I need to turn. I wasn't. I just laid down, prayed, rebuilt my life, and I disappeared. Like, you know, I only left the house when I needed to, like for work, and then I came back home, and I did that for like 18 months, and didn't date, didn't do any of those things, and then I met someone, wasn't looking, And I've been with that person for a little over 2 years now. And I'm in a space right now where it's like, okay, it's no longer time for hiding. It's time to get back outside. And I'm a relationship girly. Like I can handle a single season, but I'm a relationship girly. I like to be checked on. I like somebody to care when I'm out in the streets. I like to be loved on. I like to be supported. And I like to give those things to my mate. So I knew at some point I was going to get back into a relationship, but I just wasn't in a rush and I wasn't looking. And so when it happened, it caught me off guard, but I was on my YOLO too. I was like, I'm not going to be heartbroken the way I was heartbroken this last time. And then I'm not going to be miserable alone and become the cat lady. Like, I still got life in me. I got really good genes. I'm intelligent. I'm creative. I just took a L. And like Day said, if y'all seen the movie Friday, or was it next Friday? He said it. Players mess up sometime. And sometimes we have to go through things that apparently we agreed to before we reincarnated. And sometimes those things are hurtful and they are traumatic, and but they make you a better person. You make it through it, right? A lot of people don't make it through the things I've been through. But thankfully I've made it through it, and thankfully I'm blessed, and thankfully I don't look like what I've been through. And I just took that as the opportunity for me to have a brand new lease on life. And so now I'm back. I'm back. I have a different perspective on life. One of the things I've been hiding that I've been practicing for 10 years now is that I'm a spiritualist. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a practicing spiritualist. And I had started a playlist on my channel where I was talking about things such as angel numbers. And a lot of y'all liked it over the years. But like I said, I really wasn't out in the open about it. And now it's like it's my season to be authentically me, right? I healed over so many things. I'm still actively healing. And to keep it 100, like, it was not on a medicinal, clinical standpoint. The things that I practice personally is what laid the type of foundation that I really have to, and actually it's over 10 years. 2012 was 13 years ago. So for 13 years, I've been a practicing spiritualist. And I noticed that, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon nowadays, and that's cool. But for me, it's a lifestyle. It's been a lifestyle for 13 years. And so me bouncing back into this YouTube space, or bouncing back with a heavier presence on social media and building my brand and whatnot, is going to have to include the aspects of me that are the most important. And one of those is my spiritual lifestyle. So I started a new channel. I created a new channel, but I haven't posted any content yet. I may actually put my first video up today. But it's going to be all spiritual content. Like the first video, I'm going to be talking about the number 8888. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because the day that I decided to really be open and bold and more vocal about the real thing that's been getting me through all the trauma and the BS in life, when I decided to actually do that, I was on the highway and there was a car in front of me, a black Toyota, and the number part of the license plate was 8888. And if anyone is familiar with angel numbers, then you may well know that when you see the triple eights or the quadruple eights, that's basically a sign of manifestation, a sign of manifestation, a sign of confirmation to go ahead and go with that thing that you were just thinking about. And it also was confirmation for me, like, yeah, quit hiding it, like, be bold, talk about it. And don't talk about it from the standpoint because people think it's a trendy thing. Talk about it because you've been living like this since 2012. You've been working with crystals and stones. You've been keeping track of the moon cycles. You've been watching out for angel numbers. You have altars in your home. Like, I'm all of that and then some. And so my new channel, Enlightened Vee, is created. There's just no videos on there yet. But I will be putting videos on there. Fingers crossed I get into my bag today. So if you're interested in stuff like that, if you really are interested in how you can heal from things, how you can balance out your life, how you can become a better version of you without medicine, but you are interested in like occult practices or spirituality, or just getting closure around certain traumas, including childhood traumas, heartbreak, then I invite you to check out my new channel, Enlightened Vee. I'm still going to keep this channel up. I'm still going to post my shorts. I'm still going to, pop in and do little razzle dazzles. But my main focus is I'm going to go ahead and develop that new channel, Enlightened Vee. I feel so free now. It took me a while to get here. I feel free. I'm in a great relationship. I've rebuilt my life, like I said, from the ground up. I had to buy dishes. I had to buy new underwear. I had to buy a new bed. I had to buy cleaning supplies. Like, I literally had to start my life over in 2021. I just left with my truck and the things I could fit into my vehicle. Lived in a hotel, a dirty motel, wasn't a hotel, a dirty motel for 30 days. He paid enough to put me up for 3 weeks. And then, to be honest, I crowdfunded the money for the 4th week. Thankfully, I had a long-term friendship with someone who had an empty apartment for me to stay in. And so I stayed in there for almost 2 months while I was just literally, honestly, driving Uber. While I was driving Uber to stack my money up. Because when I tell you mentally and emotionally, I was not in the space to go work anywhere and have to clock in and be held accountable for a schedule. Because when I tell you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I was done up. I was done up. And I just knew myself enough to know that it was not going to work out good for me or for a corporate company to have to be someplace at the time that they tell me to be, as long as they tell me to be, for however much money they thought I was worth. Like, I just knew mentally, emotionally, and spiritually that was not the space that I was going to thrive in. So I drove Uber to stack my money up. Thankfully, the apartment I stayed in, I did not have to pay for anything. Like, I was allowed to stay there for free. I just paid for my food and like my little personals and essentials. I had the same amount of clothes that I was just washing and re-wearing. I had to go buy me some underwear at one point. Eventually, he had let me start using his washer and dryer, my ex. And so I did that. And then even when I secured my own spot, even though I secured an apartment, I still lived out of my suitcases for the first 2 months. It took my daughter to say, "Mommy, we good. Like, can't nobody put you out of here. This is your spot. Like, can't nobody kick you out." Like, I was suffering. I had PTSD. And mind you, I had furniture. The first pieces of furniture that we acquired were bedroom furniture. So I had a dresser. I had a nightstand. Of course, there were closets in the bedroom. So I had places where I could have stored my clothes. But I was just traumatized. Like, I was just existing. I wasn't living anymore. I was just existing. Like, it was weird. It's even weird for me to say these things out loud. Like, it was just a weird space to be in. So after 2 months, I finally started putting my clothes away, like in the dresser drawers. And I went and got more of my clothes and hung them up in the closets and got my shoes and, things like that. But again, me even saying these things out loud is like really, really surreal, because there was a moment in time I did not think that I was going to be on the other end of that successfully. And I was, and I made it. And so now it's just time for me to peel back another layer of my truth and just share with the community what really helped me get to where I am today. And it was my spirituality. It was my practices. It was my rituals. It was my prayers. It was my action, right? My fortitude, my resiliency. And so I'm just starting a new channel where I share all of that. Yeah, it's time. It's definitely time. And it's my truth. You know, it's my truth. It's my truth. And everybody else be out here sharing their little raggedy truths. So I figure, you know, why not let me share mine? But when I think about the things that I chose to endure, I'm just thankful that I'm no longer that version of myself. Because one thing that like really irritates me is when women get into relation, and I can only speak from a woman's standpoint because that's who I am. Not saying men don't do this, but one thing that really irritates me from a woman's standpoint is that they get into these relationships where they know the man has issues. They know the man either is a gambler or a substance abuser or has toxic traits and qualities or doesn't have a relationship with their children or was raised in a very traumatic situation and haven't done any healing work. Women know that. And then we still move forward in relationships with these people. And then some of you women be like, oh my gosh, he changed one day. Oh my gosh, there was never any signs. You a lie and the truth ain't in you. You a lie and the truth ain't in you. Women got to stop lying and coupled with stop seeing potential in people when it's 1,000,001 red flags. Y'all got to stop. Y'all arguing on first dates, arguing within the first 90 days, physically fighting, the man cheating, irresponsible. Like, we see all of these things and still move forward. And then we get into these situations where we got egg on our face and talking about he just changed one day. He started off perfect and then one day he just changed and I don't know what happened. I didn't see it coming. You a lie and the truth ain't in you. You'll never hear me say that. You'll never hear me say, oh my gosh, I didn't know. You'll never hear me say, oh, there was no signs or inclinations, that this could possibly end up really bad. You'll never hear me say that everything was perfect and rainbows and sunshine and then it just changed. Like, you'll never hear me tell that lie. I just thought I could change him. I just thought that I was more than enough. I just thought that I could love him enough to see my value. And I'm just sick of women perping like they don't see this stuff going in bad. They don't see this man and the red flags. Like, it's not a trending thing. Like, it's a real thing. Pay attention. Be honest with yourself. And if you take an L, just admit you took an L. That's what I'm saying. I admit I took an L. I ignored all the red flags, the burgundy flags, the orange flags, the fire engine red flags, the cherry red flag. Like, I consciously ignored all of them because I'd waited so long to say yes. I've been proposed to before. But back in those days, I guess I was strong enough to be like, I just think because I was older and I didn't actively see any prospects, I just was like, YOLO, let's do it. Forget the red flags. I'm going to turn them green, or at least I'm going to make them yellow. Like, that's what I thought. Put a little white in them, make them orange. And I just think women need to be more honest with themselves. I think, especially if you don't have children with someone, and I'm only saying that because, not that I think children are an excuse to stay in a bad relationship. I just know a lot of people do it. So because I know that, I'm just saying that I don't think it's wise for women to stay in these types of situations, especially when there's no children between the two of you. Because for why? I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like woulda, couldas, and shouldas. I don't want to make it seem like if I could do it over again, I would do it differently, because I do believe in soul contracts. And I believe that that entire experience was definitely needed for me to grow into the person that I am today. I can honestly say I don't see myself being the version of me that I am today had I not went through that BS. Now it hurt. It did. It hurt. It hurt physically. It hurt. It hurt emotionally. It hurt spiritually. It hurt financially. It hurt my pride. It hurt my ego. It made me question my value. It made me question my soul. Like, it took me through the whole gamut of emotions. However, I cannot honestly say that if I had a choice, I would have skipped that part. Because who knows what version I would be today? Who knows what type of woman I would be today? Who knows? But I know it wouldn't be the version that I am now. Because it took me getting those battle wounds to want to change. It took me getting those battle wounds to want to heal. It took me getting those battle wounds to want to be a better version of myself. So I had to go through that. I had to experience that. I had to experience a loss so painful that the only option I had afterward was to dig deep and be a better version of myself. And I know some of that is going to go over some of your heads. But for me, I get it. And for those of you that get it, get it. And if you don't, you don't. So that's another reason why, too, I feel like it's definitely time for me to step into my spiritual bag, to step into my occult bag, to step into my this is the path that I chose that's been working for me for 13 years. Because it's going to bless somebody. It's going to bless somebody. And to be able to come out on the other end of that thing without any substance abuse issues, without any major health issues, without me looking like who did it and why, to be able to step out of that thing and to be who I am and to look how I look and to develop how I've developed, that's how I know it was part of my soul contract. Because there are people who've been through less who didn't make it out of that thing unscathed. They developed substance abuse issues. They either gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight, or didn't make it at all physically. They transitioned. And don't get me wrong, I still have weight that I'm holding on to that I just hope to one day wake up and it's all gone. But I know I got to work it off, right? I know I got to be consistent. I know I got to eat better. So I know the things that need to be done in order to get where I want to be, as far as physically, as far as my avatar. But everything else about who I am today, I know I would not be her had I not endured that storm, had I not been through that challenge in life. And I honestly just want to help as many women as possible to bounce back from heartbreak. I just want to help as many women as possible. And my information can cross over to men as well. I just always say women because I'm a woman, right? But I'm not excluding the men. I just run across so many people who give up. I run across so many people who give up on love, give up on life. I just run across so many people who just feel like they're not strong enough to bounce back. And I know what that feels like. And I just want to show people that it's possible and that you can be fabulous while doing it. And that you can ignore the haters because they're going to pop up. There's a lot of miserable people in this world. I just want people to know that they have the free will to choose not to be one of those miserable people. So, yeah. And I want people to know that you do your work properly and still be a good person. Like, you can definitely be blessed with the type of love you deserve. It may not look like what you think it'll look like or the package that you think you had to have, but it's out there and it's possible. And, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to try this out and say my piece and tell y'all to come check me out if you're into spirituality, if you're into occult knowledge, if you're into self-mastery and doing the work that you need to do to heal and to become a better person. And we're not against like clinical treatments. I'm just sharing my story that didn't work for me. But again, I have, knock on wood, I have the mental and emotional fortitude to do the work. I have the ability to check my ego enough to know that I have to change, that I have to get better, that I have opportunities. Like, I'm that type of person. And a lot of people nowadays are not that type of person. They love blaming the other person. They'll never take accountability for the role that they played. And I'm not that type of person. Regardless of who tried to convince me that I was, I know me better than any of you. So, but anyway, I am going to get me a snack and going about my business. I'm going to take myself to dinner and outline a couple concepts for the first few videos on my new YouTube channel, and I hope that y'all visit me there. Again, it's Enlightened Vee, and thank y'all for tuning in. Peace. Now I gotta figure out how to end the live.